everybody, today we're going to do a quick unboxing of the Kreg K4 Pocket Hole Jig Master System. Now, before we purchased this, kind of would have been helpful to know exactly what's in it. So, let's dig into it and see what we got.
Manual. Always comes in handy.
Read your instructions, folks. There's a little box here. What is that?
It's a vacuum attachment.
Oh, that's nice. So you can just hook up your shop vac dust collection to your jig. That's nice. Looks like here we have an assortment of screws for different types of wood, different lengths. You have 1 inch for softwood and plywood. This is a 1 1/4 inch for hardwoods, 1 1/4 inch for softwood, 2 1/2 inch for softwood, and 1 1/2 inch for softwood. So it looks like we just got one set here for hardwoods. What else we got in there?
Some dowels.
Is that to fill the pocket holes?
Got some dowels with an angle at the end of them. You can fill your pocket hole with that. Maybe put some glue in there and hold it in, sand it over, flush.
This has, looks like an Allen wrench. Is that the right word? An Allen wrench?
Yeah.
It's got a big bolt and...
we call them Allen wrenches. It's actually a hex wrench.
Hex wrench. It's got a big bolt and looks like a washer of some sort. Some parts. We'll learn what those are for. What are these?
No clue.
We'll find out. And here's the last pieces in that box. We have, it says KJD drill bits, hex sharp. Ooh, yeah, that's what makes your pocket holes right there. And it is sharp. I just rubbed my fingers against it, and it is a sharp bit. So there's our drill bit. What are these? They're magnetic. Look at that. That's like magic.
That's your driver bits.
So there's 2 different kinds. Is one just long for a reason? Yeah. So we've got a short one and a long one, and it looks like they're the same type of bit.
That's a number 2 square head.
All right. Let's see what else we got in here. This is the jig. It's got some different markings on it here. 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 1/4, 1 1/2. Over here we've got some 8s, 5/8, 7/8, an inch, 1 1/8, and 1 3/8. Those are marked nicely there for you. This attachment here is if you wanted to actually take the pocket hole jig out and use it separately apart from this attachment. Gives you some options. There's something else under here. How are we going to get into it? I guess take this cardboard out. And then it's got some bigger holes there for you.
Should be a clamp.
Face clamp. And let me tell you something about this face clamp. This right here is at least a $35 value. So you get it in this kit, which is super nice.
Alright, the drill bit has a stop collar on the top of it. And that is so you can set your depth. And you don't want to drill into the base of this. This is meant to just come right to the edge of where your pocket holes stop. And this stop collar will stop it from going all the way through the wood you're trying to drill. Now these markings here are to set your stop collar exactly where you need it for what wood you're trying to drill. And I don't know exactly what to mark it by. Like if that is 3/4, do you have your...
That's what the manual's for.
Have your bit come right to there, I guess, and lock it?
So like he showed you before, this has got a Kreg owner's manual, and it's also got a skill builder booklet. So we're going to build our skills.
I'm not good at reading instructions. I just like to play with things like this.
He's a man. Let's see here. It says, number 1, set the drill guide.
Okay. Take 3/4. Now, does it tell how?
It says, is that the thickness of our workpiece? 3/4?
Well, we'll
It
find
says,
something.
align the mark on the side of the drill guide that matches the thickness of the workpiece.
Right. Right, we have a piece of wood right here that's 5/8 of an inch thick.
And it does have a marking right here on the guide that is 5/8.
These are both 5/8.
So we're going to go ahead and set that. I just adjust this right here. And then
It has
slide.
to,
How does that work?
it has to screw out pretty far
Oh, okay.
before it'll let you move it.
And then you just...
It's pretty tight in there.
It is pretty tight, isn't it? Now am I going to get this back up? How did you do that? There we go. That looks pretty good.
I have it lined up exactly right, or this set screw won't go into the spot it's supposed to go.
Let's try that. Is that right? Does it need to move? Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. So, just to try to show y'all here, get a good shot of that. We're at 5/8 of an inch. So that's step 1, is to set the jig for the thickness of your workpiece. Number 2, it says choose a screw. And like we said earlier, this came with a few for hardwoods and quite a few for softwoods. What we're using today is some hardwoods. And the only screws that it came with were 1 1/4 of an inch. Is that going to be okay?
It's too long for this.
Too long for that.
We could probably use these 1-inch screws. They're coarse thread, but
Give it a try.
we can try.
We'll see what happens. We're just testing it out, so. All right. And it has like this screw selection guide. So if you're really new to woodworking, new to
See what
pocket
it says for
holes,
5/8 and see what screw
see.
you're supposed to use for 5/8.
it says 5/8 is a 1 inch.
Okay.
So you were right.
Good.
Position the stop collar. So this was the question that you had about
Right.
positioning the stop collar. So it says you place the step bit in the setup gauge. So you kind of have that going for you here. Slide the stop collar onto the end of the bit. Position it against the end of the stop collar recess. And you want to match the thickness of your workpiece. So over here we have the 5/8 right here. So you're going to bring it over here.
So you measure to the wide part of the bit, not the skinny part.
Right. So show them that again. Hold that up
And this
here.
bit actually has a skinny part down here where the actual body of the screw will go through into your other piece. But you measure to the wide part of the bit, which actually drills the hole that the head of the screw goes into.
I'll stand this up here. You kind of want to show them there.
So you would want to mark the wide part of the bit at the 5/8 line and lock the collar down.
And again, I'm going to lay this down. We're working with 5/8 inch wood, so you would set this to whatever thickness wood that you're working with.
All right.
Are you ready? Okay. Now it says adjust the clamp pad. So this is the clamp pad. Advance the toggle clamp to full clamped position. Place your workpiece against the drill guide. Loosen the jam nut on the clamp pad shaft.
Okay.
Okay. It says unclamp the toggle and advance the clamp pad 1.5 to 2 turns. Test for adequate clamp pressure. So you want to make sure that it's holding it against your guide here. Does that feel good? Okay.
And I guess tighten the lock nut back down, right?
Tighten the jam nut, yes. Good? Alright. So let's talk about ABC. The guide here has 3 holes. You have A, B, and C. And so if you're like me, you're looking at this and you're going, what do they mean? It tells you right here in your owner's manual how to use these. If you have 1 to 2 inch wide material, you're going to use B and C right together. If you have 2 to 3 inch wide material, you're going to use A and B. And if you have 3 to 4 inch wide material, you're going to use A and C. So how wide is this?
This is about a 3-inch wide piece of wood.
So I guess we've got a couple of options. We could do A and B, or we could do A and C. I think A and C looks better, don't you?
Right. This is 3 inches.
Let's kind of hold this up here. This is A and C. So we're going to do those 2 holes, see what happens.
Now we have pocket holes.
So as you can see, we have pocket holes now in one of our work pieces, and what we want to do is attach it like this, perpendicular to this other piece. So what we're going to do is clamp these down with the face clamp that came in the kit, and then Bryan is going to use these pocket holes to attach the pieces with the 1-inch screws.
Now this clamp works just like vice grips. You adjust how wide you need this to open, and then has a release.
Now, how did you do that?
It's going to release.
Oh, okay. Is it hidden by that rubber?
Yeah, it's under there.
Okay, cool. All right, so look at that. Got a nice, strong joint, and it's good and flush. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. You like it?
And we didn't actually use the fine thread hardwood screws for that, but it worked okay. I guess the danger would be of maybe cracking this wood or something if the threads are too wide. This is, I don't know, this is oak, I believe.
Pallet wood.
Yeah, it come off of a pallet. I think it's red oak.
If you are a beginner woodworker like us, and you're not into advanced joinery just yet, I would recommend investing in a jig, pocket hole jig. There's different brands out there. We just happened to buy a Kreg. They're not sponsoring this video, but that's what was available, and we think it works really well. They have different kits, like this was a whole kit, and this seems really easy to use, but you can definitely buy something a little bit cheaper, clamp it down yourself.
They have several different models too. This is the K4. They also have a K5, which is a step up from this. They also have just smaller ones where you get the jig and you have to actually clamp it onto the wood. There's all kinds of different options for the Kreg jigs.
This, like we said, seems like a great value. You get some sample screws to kind of test out a few different projects. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this jig.
Be sure to stay tuned to our YouTube channel. We'll be using this jig in probably lots of future projects.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Visit us on Facebook at Woodsongs by Russell and visit our website, www.woodsongsbyrussell.com. Thanks again for joining us today. Happy woodworking!